So we're just out here. What are you doing, lady? Hello.
Hello.
As you're watching this, we are coming at you from the future. Today, June 12th, 2024, we are going to talk a little bit today about stops 1 and 2. That would be Ohio and Michigan. Overall, I guess, what were your thoughts?
Oh, Ohio?
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I think it was perfectly centered around what we were looking for.
Yeah, so we stayed in Geneva, Ohio, which...
Really cute tiny home.
Yeah,
Perfect.
It was really nice. It was really close to downtown Geneva. Just a couple of places to eat and things like that. Mainly, it's pretty central to a lot of the wineries in the Geneva, Madison, Grand River Valley region. How many wineries did we get to?
I think we did a total of 6.
We did probably 6 or 7 wineries. I'll have the exact count in the video because I can't think of it at the moment. But overall, so what were kind of our thoughts about Ohio specifically? So where we're at right now is the Grand River Valley, which is one of the premier wine regions in Ohio, which I'm sure most people probably didn't realize that Ohio even had any wine regions. Turns out every state has what's called an AVA, an American Viticultural Area. It's a lesser known wine region in the U.S. Mosquitoes, I swear. If you're like me, mosquitoes will find you and they will tear you apart. Please let me know if you have any kind of non-bug spray related remedies for mosquitoes because I need them desperately. We are here in Ohio, a place I genuinely believed I was never gonna come back to. I mean, Ohio maybe, but like I never thought I was coming back to Northeast Ohio. And here we are. Maybe at some point I'll do an explanation of my previous life out here after college. One of my goals with coming back here specifically, it sort of broke up the westward bound trajectory of our drive. I don't like leaving places with a bad taste in my mouth. I would like to have at least somewhat of an overall fond memory of this place. So hopefully I can make that happen. Now, obviously, before any wine tasting was to take place, it only made sense to do a workout. And since my love for kettlebells knows no end, it only made sense to drag the person for whom my love knows no end to work out with me. And once our workout was complete, it was time to finally start sampling some wine. And let's just say things were about to be a little bit different than what we're used to.
I mean, the wines were okay. We're good.
Yeah.
The whole experience was different than what we're used to.
Yeah.
So on that end of things, I don't know if I was a fan of that, but the wine was good.
Overall, I think it was more or less a positive experience. Hi.
Hey,
So what'd you think?
the grounds were nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely some place that I would be able to go and have a glass or two, but that's it. I'm not even sure if I'm in view, but it's okay. What I was saying was they gave you a tasting, but it wasn't a lot, and I feel like it was really hard to tell. I couldn't get a taste for anything that I tasted today.
Yeah, they were very small pours. They did the whole thing of very small, like less than an ounce pours, but there were like 6 of them for tasting. And to me personally, I'd rather have like 3 wines that you try, but they're each a little bit more,
Yeah,
so you can
agreed.
really kind of get like a sense of what it is
Right.
you're
I feel like it might be an
tasting.
Ohio state law.
I mean, that could be, and it could just not be their fault that they have to do that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the next one brings. But that was my biggest thing. I ordered that glass of rosé, and it was kind of
I think the one thing that kind of irked us a little bit was just the fact that, like, and we found a similar trend in Michigan, which is that we go to these places to do tastings where you try a couple different wines, and for the most part, got very little information on what was in front of us. And I was also hoping for like a vintage on the wine, so like a year that the grapes were picked and the wine was made, because like that can tell you kind of a lot, at least about what you're tasting. So not too much about the year the grapes were picked, the procedure, the ground that it's growing, anything like that, which is information that we've always just sort of been given at places that we've tasted wine in several other different regions before, whether it be Finger Lakes, Virginia, New Jersey, Vermont, Oregon. Even asking questions was a little not really working. It's like
they were just poured and
kinda,
given.
yeah, maybe in some cases like a little brief tasting note, but nothing about anything else. There's no, there's no year, no history of how long they've been growing that grape. Is it popular in that region? Nothing. Beautiful browns. Very, very nice. Vines. We're overlooking the vines, like a terrace of some kind with some pillars. And it's in an old church. I don't really get the aesthetic here, if I'm being honest. I don't understand it one bit. But like, it's nice. It's nice here.
Church, but then you got these pillars that look like the...
Yeah, it's like a... I don't know if they're... I don't know what they're going for, but in any event, let's drink some wine. And as we sat, thoroughly confused with the decor of the place that we were in, we proceeded through our next wine tasting and were, let's say, less than impressed. And to make matters worse, Karen had a very unwelcome visitor. So much is to happen.
Fly flew in my Pinot Grigio, the only one that I really wanted to try.
So Karen is a big Pinot Grigio person. And, of course, the fly picked her wine to go die in. And,
I don't know that I can drink it. It's not even like a gnat, it's a fly.
That's a fucking fly. Alright, I'm gonna go get Karen a new Pinot Grigio. There's nobody working here right now. I don't know what the deal is. So, we had a little visitor in the Pinot Grigio. Can I possibly get a thank you? Yo.
Oh, hello.
What do you think?
It's good.
Really? Because nothing about the face you made
It's alright.
suggested it was good.
Did she give it to you for free?
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm going to make a little recommendation. If you don't know anything about wine, what you should be doing is drinking wine out of thin-rimmed glasses, not these. This is what I expect at like a brewery if I go like get a flight of beer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so, but it really makes a big
I
difference.
didn't really think it made a big difference until today. And it does make a difference. I mean, not that I didn't believe you, but I couldn't really like see it because all our glasses we drink out of are pretty thin. But after drinking out of this, yeah, I don't know, something about it is not really hitting me. Pinot Grigio was...
We are at winery number 3 for the day, M Cellars. It's crazy the difference in the amount of cars that are at this place.
There was nobody at
Like compared to both of the 2 previous places we've been. Granted, it's the middle of the afternoon on a Tuesday, so it's not prime time for people going to wineries. But even for a Tuesday afternoon, there's a lot of cars here, and not just Ohio license plates. There's Pennsylvania license plates. Like, people wanted to come here. The crowning jewel of that whole week-long experience between Ohio and Michigan was a place in, I think it's technically in Geneva, Ohio. It's either Geneva or Madison, Ohio, but M Cellars. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
They were by far and away the best ones we went to. I don't know. This place was our downfall. We not only got the information we were looking for all the wines, but they're all way better.
Every single wine we tasted was great.
Yeah, you can tell this place has been doing it for a long time, and they know what they're doing, and they have the knowledge and the information. She gave me a large pour. We also only ate eggs today, so that's great. That was a great choice.
This is fantastic though, this one.
Yeah, this place is great.
All right, I have the focaccia and dipping oil
awesome.
for you guys.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
You're welcome.
you.
Appreciate it.
Meet everybody. These olives have jalapeno.
M Cellars is the winner, for sure.
Just so you know it's hot.
For sure.
If you get the chance, come here. Skull.
Could we scold them?
Yeah, first time we did. It was not worthy of the skull. Day 2 of our exploration of Ohio wine, and we are off to a, I don't know, what kind of start?
No
Yeah.
one tells you anything. It's very disconcerting. No one says anything about the
Yeah,
wines. Like,
it's-
where do they come from? Do they grow the grapes here? Like, I'd like to know a little bit about the history of it.
You should at least offer something for people who want more information.
Yes.
But yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of options, at least at the places we went to, for any kind of like private tours or private tastings. And the tastings you got, it was pretty much just, here you go, bye-bye. Which, I mean, is fine. You're still trying the wine and, you know, seeing what you like and what you don't like, which ultimately, I guess, is the point of a wine tasting. But for people who are into wine or looking to learn a little bit more about what it is they're drinking, it's
A little bit of a letdown.
yeah, it's a little bit of a letdown. Yeah, I mean, this has been a tough one because I used to live literally in a house right next door to this when I lived in Ohio for a while. This was one of the houses that I stayed in. I never came here because at that point I wasn't really, you know, too interested in drinking wine. Now that I am, I kind of wish I had at least stopped over here at some point and tried it. The food sounded very good here.
Scratch kitchen.
Yeah, but the wine wasn't enough to make us stay.
So many here, though. You could definitely spend a good amount of time here.
You definitely can, and it's interesting because one of the things that we've done a little bit of research now in looking into the Grand River Valley AVA. So it's just inland enough from Lake Erie, the rolling hills, makes it so that it circulates air and drains enough rainwater and snow melt, because they do get a lot of snow here. Basically, it extends the growing season of the grapes. So the hills and the weather allow for a good grape growing. That's why there's so many wineries in this region. What?
So in this Grand River Valley pamphlet I picked up, because all the wineries seem to be categorized as signature, artisan, and casual, and here's the reasons why. Interesting, though. So
Again,
I'm not gonna breathe, though.
nobody tells you that. I think the ones we've been to have been signature.
They're
no?
all been signature, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Day 2, winery 2, done. What do you think?
I feel like they had good stories for their wines, but
Yeah,
it would have been
yeah.
nice to know the history. Like, was this a married couple that bought the winery? Like, there was a lot of interesting tidbits under their wines that they gave us.
Like one of the ones I had was like the 4 siblings Pinot Noir or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, for sibling rivalries and stuff, it's like great, but that, I don't know what that means. Some sort of information is really all we're kind of after. I don't know. It's
I don't know.
crazy.
It's just
And
weird.
it also is like, is it on us? Should we be more forceful in trying to like
I don't
dig
know.
up the information? Like, I don't know.
Like I said inside,
Like-
I feel like it's not that it's rushed, but I feel like that there's so many wineries on the wine trail
Mhm.
that people don't think you want to hear about it, so they give you your wine and you go sit down. It's very rushed. Not rushed, but just quick moving.
It's
They don't really
fast
take their
service,
time
yeah.
to pour it, to tell us about, obviously tell us about it, but
Yeah. Maybe it's us.
I don't know. In that case, we're going back to M Cellars.
Yes, we're
That
on our
is
way
the-
back to the winery
that
we
is
liked
the only
yesterday.
that I felt like if we had asked more questions, she would have been more forgiving.
I would like a little bit more information. And now we're going to go get some more information. So we wrapped up our wine drinking in Ohio at our favorite winery that we went to there. And I guess now is as good a time as any to give some context as to why we chose that region specifically, other than the wine, of course. In the fall of 2015, in my, previous life as an engineer, that's what I did for a living until a couple of weeks ago. Fall of 2015, I was recently out of college and working my first engineering job for a company in New Jersey. They were designing a plant that was being built in this area in Ohio, and I was going to be sent out to work there for a little bit. The idea was it was going to be 2 months, and that was kind of it. And then I'd be back to my normal job duties in New Jersey. Well, fast forward, almost a year later, that plan had clearly changed, and I was working 7 days a week and, not enjoying it, to say the very least. I'll do a whole thing about my life as an engineer another time, but for now, suffice to say that this was the first of several engineering jobs that I was not going to like. But the whole situation was just bad. It was sold to me as one thing, turned out to be another, and I was stuck. My work life was horrible, both in terms of my schedule and the people I was working with. It was just a very negative situation all the way around, and there was no end in sight. There was no, okay, well, I'll tolerate this for a little bit and then something else, because that was already supposed to have happened, but it didn't. But I think given the time and place where my life was at, how frustrated I was, I think I placed unfair blame on this area when it was mostly just about the circumstances of my life. Because the reality is, I could have been in the coolest place on earth with my life circumstances at that time, working 7 days a week, hating my job. You know, I have an appreciation for the fact that I'm no longer bound by the same constraints that I had before. I'm grateful to be on the other side of that and revisiting a place that for years I've had almost nothing but contempt in my head for, which is really unfair. Now I'm here with the person I love. We're on this adventure. We have nothing but freedom and flexibility in our lives right now. And we are figuring out our next course of action with a renewed sense of hope for the future. Has really changed my entire experience here. You can come back to a place a completely different person. You can have a completely different experience with a different mindset and a different outlook on your future. And then we got to Michigan. In Michigan, we stayed in the town of Niles, which would not recommend. No shade,
I feel like
no shade on Niles, but
I mean, I
yeah.
feel like it's an up-and-coming town. There were some, I don't know, there was a brewery there.
There's potential, but it ain't there
It's
yet.
not there yet.
Majority of, I think, people who go there tend to stay in places like New Buffalo. Bridgman, I think, is another one. So I'll put a couple names of some of the more common places to stay that are actually closer to Lake Michigan as well. But yeah, it's those. Stay in one of those. It's just going to be easier. There's probably going to be more options for places to stay, and more options for things to do other than wine as well.
The first place, she was a little more informative.
We are currently in Buchanan, Michigan, as part of our tour of the Lake Michigan Shore AVA. We just finished up at our first winery there, which was Hickory Creek?
Yeah.
Hickory Creek. I can't say that fucking word, man. I can't do it. I did that yesterday too. I can't say it. Holy shit. I don't know what it is. Hickory Creek Winery. What'd you think?
Nothing worth buying to me.
Yeah, not our favorite.
But that one place we went to, I don't know, they served us in a pizza box, which we made another video of. I'm sure he'll put that in
I'll
there.
drop that in. I'll drop that clip in here. So if you notice, here's my dry flight plus Karen's too.
Saved us $10 though.
What?
Saved us $10.
Not the point. Not the point. Yeah, I'm not going to take any notes here. I've been taking notes. This is different than what's up there.
Is it?
Because this is saying I'm supposed to get a rosé.
Oh, well, that's clearly wrong.
We were thoroughly confused by this place in all aspects of it. We were confused by the menu. We were confused by the presentation. We were confused by the fact that they were also a brewery and a cidery and basically anything else you could kind of imagine. I got the sense that this particular establishment was trying to become sort of a one-stop shop for everybody, no matter what you were interested in, building a big brand around that. And I respect it, and you'll notice of the wineries that we went to in Michigan are on the screen right here. I purposely left the name of this one off just because we are somewhat bad-mouthing it. Sure, any sleuths out there could probably figure out who I'm talking about, but I'm not out to pick any fights with anyone. I'm looking for the shortest route out of here, if I'm being honest with you. I'm thinking it might be across that little bridge.
Is there a bridge?
Right there behind the
There
garbage
is a
cans, but I
bridge,
don't
yeah.
know if you can get to the parking lot from there.
I'm honestly just going to dump them all in the garbage.
I kind of think we should.
More of a party place, I feel like.
Yeah, so and I think that was also another kind of trend that we saw in these areas. It's not uncommon to find this in areas where there's a lot of wineries, but there's no shortage of services that will like cart you around to a bunch of different stops throughout your day. And I think when this is, our assumption both for Ohio and Michigan is that when you're seeing a lot of turnover in customers as far as like the amount of time that people are maybe spending there, it's very common to get a lot of big groups that come in as part of like a day-long journey that they're going on, and that could be part of the lack of information. Thankfully though, as what happened with M. Sellers when we were in Ohio, our luck in Michigan was about to change as far as the lack of information was concerned. All right, that was much better. This was Domaine Berrien. You don't think this was
Well, definitely better
much
than
better
11.
than the last place?
Yeah, she was a little weird.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna chalk that up to a tough day. There was a group in there that was loud and kind of, I don't know. I think it was an exhausting group for her, if I had to guess.
I feel like if it was not as busy for her, she would have definitely given us more information.
I think it was a good.
Oh yeah,
it was a good
wine.
recommendation
They bought 2
from.
bottles.
I think it was a good recommendation from one of the winemakers at the first winery we went to.
Yeah.
And even more information was to be gained at Lemon Creek Winery, along with some very, very loud music. Apologies in advance for the volume of that.
We had a really nice description of the wine, but the music is so loud that we couldn't hear him.
Yeah, we wanted to record when their wine expert came around and was. I don't think he didn't say it. He didn't have like a sommelier pin.
Yeah, he had a wine enthusiast.
Was it enthusiast? He didn't say enthusiast. Did it really? Oh man. Anyway, shout out to Vince. What a nice guy. He came around and like gave us some information about the wines in our tastings. It was exactly what we were looking for in terms of like information on each of the wines, vintages, what to expect, and just in general, it was really what we were looking for.
But as you can hear, there's a lot of background music, and we would not have been able to record him.
Yeah, and poor Vince is he's an older gentleman and talks rather low. And so, despite the fact that I love this guy's doing like a bluegrass rendition of Johnny Cash right now. Last up in Michigan was the Golden Muse Winery, which seems to have been built in what looks like kind of an old garage. It was actually a pretty cool place. We were served by a woman who looked like maybe an 18th century Victorian, I don't know, which isn't the right word, but she's a level 2 sommelier, so don't judge a book by its cover. And there's a pretty cool art gallery in the back too that we very much enjoyed. Overall, our experience was good. In both places, we definitely found some wines that we enjoyed, some interesting things that we had never really had before, and overall, I think both regions are extremely approachable.
Definitely.
It's a very non-intimidating atmosphere to go into. Cost of everything was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, tastings are around $15 to $20.
Yeah, nothing was crazy
maybe
expensive.
Maybe some $10, maybe not.
Which again makes it a good thing if you live in the area and you're looking to kind of get into it, or if you're just looking for an idea for a weekend getaway with you and some friends or some loved ones who just want to have some drinks and hang out. It's also going to be pretty reasonably priced for everybody.
Yeah.
So we stopped in New Buffalo on our way out of Michigan. We had a nice little morning.
It was very nice.
Yeah. From there, it was leaving Michigan en route to Chicago. We made a stop at Indiana Dunes National Park, which I will make a separate video about. Would highly recommend, if you're ever in the area, stopping there.
Yeah.
Don't stop for too long in its neighboring city of Gary, Indiana. Would not recommend that. And then it was off to Chicago, where we are now. So, in any case, would recommend both regions. If you like wine, definitely check it out. Good? All right, love you. Bye.
Bye.
And of course, try as I might, I still can't seem to get away from this fucking thing.